do it. In the top left-hand side of the map, our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Up against the blue Zerg in the bottom right side from Onside Gaming, we have ourselves Solar. Alright, so TvZ, best of 5. Solar and Clem, obviously exciting one, as we see if Clem and Solar will both book themselves into a round of 8, or if Clem may drop down to a round of 12 start again. If Clem loses, he would play Dark in the round of 12, so absolutely in his best interest to absolutely not lose today. Absolutely not. Much easier if you just win on through. Do have our Hatchgasm pool coming up. 2 racks at the front from Clem, so he is going to go for a bit of a Reaper-based opening. One of the stars that's still pretty viable in the world of TvZ, so getting that up and running just to start us off and seeing where we can go. First Reaper will be out very shortly, and of course then we'll go up to probably 3 Reapers. You know, Beyond has been quite creative when it comes to the amount of Reapers you build, but the gold standard is to build 3 Reapers. We'll see if Clem does maybe toy with going beyond that. I think 3 is pretty okay for him, though, to get set up. Couple Queens, the feelings coming by for the moment. Reaper continuing out down the bottom side. Couple Queens and the Link speed still coming through. We do have ourselves the Reaper's going to start damaging up a little bit over there, so a little bit of action starting to break out. And hey, thank you so much, Usara, for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and the StarCraft. Thank you, thank you. 3 Reapers together. I'm gonna go poking forward. We actually only built 2 Reapers, so not even a third that is initially suggesting. Just the 2, that's all we're getting. As we settle down with these couple of Reapers. Probably not getting going. That is one hell of a name. 1 meter long King Kong Dong. I'll read it out just for the sake of that just made me laugh. I had to stop and read that for a second. Jealous as well. Thank you so much. 2-month resub on the Prime. Thank you so much. As we do have a couple of Reapers continue hanging around the bottom side of the map and seeing what it is that we can get ourselves up to. Reaper's actually just going to hop back up. Obviously, with Link speed, it's very difficult to stay active with these Reapers and to get too much else done. So, you know, pretty much just going to have to more or less give those up. That will just happen there as we have a couple more Reaper shots going off for some Lings. There's quite a few Lings taking damage. Again, Stimpack and plus Combat Shield coming through. Obviously, Clem gets a good fast bio follow-up from this because you already have 2 racks to begin with, so that's obviously a pretty good start as well. And Solar just still building kind of Link Queen, not even a bailing nest down, so as this first push comes from Clem, is Solar in some trouble perhaps? Yeah, this could be a little bit dangerous. Yo, Basika, thank you so much. 25-month resub on the Prime as well. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you so much as Clem comes through here. And like I say, I mean, I guess these Marines don't have much support in the form of medevacs or anything, but it is just Link Queen. So is it enough Link Queen to be okay? The Queens continue to fight, the Marines continue to take some damage. Combat Shields is about to be done, the factory about to finish up. A couple more Queens, Lings, Evo Chambers, etc. continuing into play. As we have Combat Shields building up as well. Okay, so a few different things just all coming out. Marines still active on the map here, actually, from Clem, so hanging around that right side to see if there's anything more to be done for a couple of moments. And he is going to find himself across this side and kind of fighting against a group of things initially. Queen still gathering up, and just going to have our Marines pulling back, so I'm going to back away for the moment. Getting back away from there just for now. So Marines will fall on away. Not a bad thing, I don't think, overall, as the Lings are going to continue to give chase, mind you, so away they go. I mean, Clem just has to be careful. There's one of those moments where that's absolutely the kind of fight that can go so very wrong if you're not cautious, right? If you just kind of get a little bit overzealous, things can go very wrong very quickly in that situation, so... through with a couple moments of calm. And we got the plan. I'm just going to go Overlord Hunting, picks this one off, so it gets rid of that nice and quickly. Here's an attack, continue to push on forward. We got the Mailings morphing in, a couple of melee upgrades continue through as well. And Clem is once again going to take a position on the high ground with that siege tank. Will start to work his way through some creep spread. Solar about to have 1-1 against no upgrades of Clem. +1 armor started, but no +1 attack just yet. So that's obviously not exactly great for Clem either. But that's pretty awful for Clem. It could be problematic for sure. Means the tank continue to set up. More queens coming through. Tanks get sieged. The Balins will start to go down. These Balins still chase. The Marines continue to run over to the left. A couple of those tanks do indeed fall in the end. And now having the Queens being chased down also. So the Queens just taking a little bit more damage. The Marines going to have to lift up now. I mean, again, Clem doing what he can to keep the pressure up, but there's only so much he can really do to keep on pressure. And at some point, you kind of just got to chill out a little bit. And that's kind of the point we're getting to now. They're going to come onto another barracks there, so continues to get all of that build up too. Marines stemming up, going to go for a couple more creep tumors, just going to pick through those nice and quickly. And Marines now splitting around the left-hand side as well. So Clem going to go in a couple of different directions here. 2-2 melee upgrades coming up, the infestation pit and everything coming through as well. So drop does target fire the Banelings before we lift up. Nice little additional touch right there. That's a beautiful little play. Yes, now we have SCVs continuing to mine away. Hive coming up, +2/+2 melee upgrades on the way. Musco Augments coming through as well. And those Marines coming through for a little bit more creep spread. I like what Clem's doing. He's keeping good control of the game. It's a real shame he missed his +1 attack upgrade, because otherwise I feel like he'd be in an absolute killer position. Vein comes in. The Marines just loading back up into our medevacs. We go back around that right side. A couple of units on the top. Big force around the left. And again, Ling behind is still producing through. Hive is on the way up. 2-2 upgrades on the way in. Must got augments building through as well. Lings are still coming around. We turn around, we start a fight. We do have the medevacs will load up and back away for a moment. Things will settle once more here. Marines are sitting and fighting. There's a couple Banelings showing up, but we do not need to actually target those down. We're just going to lift up. Clem just dropping Solar all over the place at the moment. He is just going to give him absolutely zero chill at all. Absolutely zero chill. Just going to go, 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 and just send it all the way throughout. Bane's still kind of running across, trying to find a little bit more of anything that might be plausible to grab. I don't think there's going to be much opportunity as... Yeah, Clem seems... Clem's definitely playing a pretty solid game. Continues to go here. A couple of drones getting knocked down as well. Let's continue through, just having ourselves the continued push up. Into that top side. Medivacs load up again. Hydras are still going to chase on through. We have ourselves the Banelings crashing into a few of these Marines. +2/+2 upgrades coming out as well at the moment. So continue to build into this. And then Widowmine gets knocked down by the Lings showing up. These Marines continue to go. Now grabbing Queens in the main man. Clem is just dropping Solar silly. Like I say, I think the only saving grace right now for Solar is, again, the fact that Clem forgot his +2 attack upgrade. Otherwise, Solar might just be in way too much trouble. Drops do continue all over the shop. Well, if you see a few drones going down, so you already see a little bit of a result there. It's starting to come up. It's going to have our Marines and the mines and everything getting settled as well. There is 5 drones killed. I mean, Clem is still just on the map with so many different units. A drop on the bottom, the push on the left, there's a group of Marines on the right. 4th base up for him, building 2 more command centers, so only improving the situation for himself, although those 2 medevacs go down. A little bit anticlimactically as they just fly through other units and die. That's not quite what we're hoping for. Marines do slow a base down this right side. We've still got the 4 bases of Solar, but no 5th base allowed. That's obviously one thing that Clem wants to continue aiming to do, right? Don't let him get to a 5th base. Because if you keep him on 4 bases, eventually you should just kind of, wear him thin in terms of units. And eventually that should be enough for you to see a very good situation in this game. So Clem just doing that. Like I say, he's working on that +2 attack upgrade as well. Once that kicks in, I feel like life is only going to be amazing for Clem. Really feels like that's all he's missing to really have a very good time here. So as Clem continues to push through, these couple of Marines going to pull back, but Widowmine's going off to help out a little bit as well. You just see a couple more Widowmine shots stopping the Banelings from ever really chasing Clem down. Solar is on his way to some lurker upgrades, and maybe that could make a difference as the Blinding Cloud tries to help out. Tries to give Solar a little bit of breathing room, tries to make Clem mess up his targeting a little bit as well, right? So definitely not a bad choice, definitely not a bad option. You see a few more Marines dropping down. This hatchery is going to drop. And there's an overlord that gets picked off also. It's just going to knock that down too. A few more Banelings still coming over. The Marines going to load back into the medevacs, escape away one more time. We have ourselves, these Marines going to find some Banelings in the center again. So again, just Clem seems to be all over the place. It honestly feels as though like Solar just cannot really catch, a 2-minute break against him every single time. It's Clem this and it's Clem that. Well, Solar is still competitive in supply. So while I'm saying Clem this and Clem that and singing Clem's praises, let's sing Solar's praises for a moment. Solar has gotten to a point in this game where he's not died, right? He's still alive. He's still being able to tack up. And while he might not be breaking into the Terran's bases anytime soon, there's a lot of people that would have succumbed to the pressure of Clem and would have absolutely passed out a little while ago already, and this wouldn't have been a game anymore. So Solar doing everything he can to keep on making this competitive, to keep this within reach for himself, and to give himself chances if Clem messes up a fight, if Clem messes up a defense. There may still be ways for Solar to draw himself back into a competitive position. Unstoppable Pork, thank you so much for the 1-year resub. Welcome back. For the 1-year baby. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Just have a lurker gonna unburrow there, reposition slightly. These parasite bombs dropping down, gonna force the split on the medevacs. Actually does a pretty good job of that, so that works out pretty decently as well. As now we continue through. Bailing's all the way up into this base. That mineral line is going to get wiped out more or less. We take the planetary out with us as well, so that's also going to be rather lovely. Solar gets a fair amount done, but at what cost? He loses a lot of units. Clem, he lost a fair amount as well as he clears off these final couple Hydras. The supplies are pretty even, actually. A single lurker just getting burrowed is going to be seen. The Ghost doesn't even really need to snipe it, right? We just have units showing up that will be able to spread out and deal with that, so that will not go very far at all. Medevac still coming through, and Ling Vein Force having to stay back. A couple of Vipers trying to stay away. The Medevac around the right side, still just looking to see if there's any little bit of extra stuff that can be done there. Oh, Widowmine shot's going to get a lot of drones, and Widowmine's absolutely blasting. My goodness, that was kind of incredible as well, so that's some really good damage. That's going to slow Solar down a lot in the rebuild, and you can see Solar's supplies just not really hanging on anymore. It looks as though Clem has whittled down Solar exactly where he wants him to be. And it does feel as though now we have got ourselves the... Yeah, it feels as though now we've got ourselves kind of the position we wanted to get into, right? This is what we've been working on. This is what we're going to get to. Fire Force still coming around. Feelings on the counterattack. At least Clem is going to be able to deal with that pretty easily. That's a good job. That's not always a guarantee. And Clem is going to be able to keep on pushing through to take game number 1 of this best of 5. In the bottom left-hand side, down a game is going to be our blue Zerg player from onside. It is Solar. Taking on the red Terran in the top right. Opening up with the lead of the series, we have ourselves Clem. Game number 2. Clem is going to open already a barracks on that low ground, so we'll see how that develops, if he wants to build a second or not. A couple of racks coming up, hatching gas coming in. Spawning pool getting started. There's a second barracks getting going as well, so we get that barracks number 2 on the way up. Oh, there's another SCV down there just chilling. What's he gonna get up to? Just enjoying the ride apparently so far. Just having a good time, hanging out, chilling. Peaceful day. And a couple of racks coming up then, as we do have then 2 in total. It's going to be 2 racks Reaper. We only built 2 Reapers last time, which definitely on the lowest end of what you're going to build with Reapers, right? I mean, you're never going to just build the 1 if you build 2 racks, obviously, so 2 is very low commitment. A lot more of it is just going in towards that bio play quickly. You have 2 racks, so you get towards stim and a reactor pretty fast to start building the units up, and that usually goes a long way. But definitely did. I mean, Clem utilized the bio play very well in that game too. He was extremely active on the map. He was very busy. He never really kind of gave Solar breathing room, and that's because he had the bio, from an early stage of the game. And even when he first stimmed in, it was a dangerous one because he had to be very careful about not staying around too long. But he really rode that line well. He really knew when to back it up in the end. He really knew when he could stick around and justify sticking around. So, that was very cool to see. As a couple of Reapers continue to move about. There's going to be a 3rd Reaper and a 4th Reaper this time. So Clem is going to go double the Reapers from what we saw previously. It's already a mix-up there from him. These Reapers are actually going to really put a play on this hatchery, and if you can get the catch cancel off of only 2 barracks, that would be very, very good for you. So that does look as though that's going to be amazing for Clem. Gets the hatchery cancel. That is money down the line, drain for Solar, and obviously time invested down the drain too. He does rebuild a hatch on the other side already. Clearly aware that he's going to have to get that back up and operational ASAP. Yeah, definitely not a great start. You don't want to go losing that hatchery early on, so It's a little bit of a shame. Reapers hop up, just going to make their way into toward the main. Factory moves over the reactor, Barrack's going to move over the side. Let's have ourselves a couple links, a few queens all coming up, stim pack on the way through. Well, I'm even building some cyclones is fun. A little bit different, still kind of seeing how much these cyclones can come into play as people figure them out. Obviously, regionals are starting up soon, GSL's been happening, so builds are starting to really come out of the woodwork. People are still, really starting to figure out what exactly it is they can do with these new units or these reworked units. Four Reapers, 2 Cyclones making their way out down to the bottom side. The Green's coming through, the few drones in production. A couple more Hellions just going to pop out of the factory there. Gonna pop those out. And 10 more links coming through. The Overlord's still building. The Queen is continuing to produce as well. Just had a few moments of calm. I mean, excited to see what Clem can do with this little push, because he's definitely got a lot of units, right? He's got a fair amount here, considering he's got the 2 Cyclones as well. He's got good damage output available, at least, so should be fairly interesting. Hellions start to move forward. A couple of Queens are here. First Hellion already taking damage. Cyclones locking on. Queens continue to take some hits. Just seeing the Lings continue to take some damage as well. As we do move back into the center. 1 more melee upgrades already starting up. Medevacs hanging out. The Marines coming around. Move up towards the tower for a couple of moments as well. So Clem keeping good map control because he has the watchtower. Pretty much the one position he does maintain for himself at the moment, so that's nice. He's obviously got Marines now streaming across as well, so obviously he feels as though he's got himself a chance. But he can get to this other side and been a bit of a timing here. Now he's got himself about equal army supplies, so that's important to know going in. How prepared is Solar? No Baneling Nest just yet, so this attack's going to be kind of brutal, man. Especially with these Hellions morphed into Hellbats. Couple Cyclones for damage output too. I don't know if Solar has any way to survive this. Absolutely not. Clem rolls him on Alcyone. And Clem takes a 2-0 lead as Solar just gets burnt to a crisp. Our blue Zerg is going to be from onside. It is Solar. Taking on the red Terran. It is Team Liquid's Clem. So, Clem, Solar, game number 3. Man, we went from Solar just kind of storming through Gumiho to Clem storming through Solar right now. Again, if Clem wins this, Clem and Solar will finish first and second. I believe Clem would finish in a position where he would play Classic or Max Packs in the round of 8. Solar would finish in a position to play against Skillless or Hero, I believe. Man, the bracket's going to be pretty stacked. We're going to have a great tournament across this weekend, guys, when the playoffs do happen. So again, obviously make sure you tune in, make sure you drop by. It really is going to be a great weekend of games based on the players we've got and what the bracket is lined up to look like. So I'll be back here again tomorrow and Sunday, same time as we started out today, in case you are wondering. First Reaper on the way up. Obviously no low ground barracks this time around. Clem is just going to go for the much more standard start to this. So single racks on the high ground. Reaper on the way. Radu said a map where you can take a very quick 3 bases of Terran, because you just build that 3rd CC out next to the minerals that you have to mine out to take the 3rd location. Reaper making its way to the upper right side. SCV gonna go patrolling across just for a few moments. Overlord just checking in towards the natural. A little bit of a look to see what's going on there. Just getting a quick eye on the the expand and so on. So Overlord is going to be able to stick around for a little bit and obviously try and pick up a little bit more info as time passes by. And continues to push our Reaper routes. That's going to get chased all the way over to the right side. As we do otherwise just have Lynx coming up, Queen coming through. Command Center coming up, Orbital coming in, SCV will continue as well. Just for the moment. Queen comes about, the Reaper will take some damage. Feelings and the Queens continue to come around as well, so we get ourselves rolling with that. A little bit of action. And Lynx coming through, Stimpback coming in, Command Center, the extra racks, all being built for the moment. And a single Hellion coming across the map, making a couple actually, just they were kind of one by one, they were single filing it. They are making their way across, so a little bit of a journey over there. You see our Hellions poking through. Creep Team is taking a little bit of damage. And the Hellions going to come by once more and just push their way forward a little bit and can work their way around that right-hand side. Hellions and the Reaper come back around again. Just repositioning slightly for a few moments. Seems to be the constant here. Just a couple of Hellions repositioning, trying to figure out what sort of place they should play in, where they should play from and everything. Just getting settled. Well, obviously the Queen deflections are good. We do have Engineering Bays coming out as well, so Clem is going to make his way in towards his upgrades. Solar in towards a lair and a baneling nest just now. That's going to be his starting point as this lair continues through. We do see again Queen, a few drones, the Overlords all continuing out as well, so just bringing up as much of this as we can. Combat Shield is already on the way from Clem. He's got his first Medivacs coming across the map. Because this was only 2 Hellions, it was pretty quick into that Marine phase. When Baneling speed starts, we are going to play the Spire and the Mutas here as Solar. Good map to ping around and jump around bases on. Obviously, access to this mineral line from out on the map as well is usually very nice to have. So these things are pretty positive. There's a few Marines just getting rid of a little bit more creep. Clearing up a little bit as we go. These Medivacs and Marines together. We'll just move them ourselves back around that right-hand side. So, again, Spire coming up. Hatchery coming through. And speed still coming down. There's the double Evo chamber plus the Spire on this Naturals. Again, both of those coming up pretty much immediately. Again, 1-1 upgrades and the combat shield on the way in as well. And the Marine's still in the center. Figuring out what they want to get up to right now as our factory continues up. Again, our 1-1 upgrades are continuing in. Still a fair amount of setting up right now as we just have Marines and Medivacs joining back over on the left side. Link trying to run up that ramp, gonna get taken down pretty swiftly. Nothing really gained from that one. As the meters start to pour out, we'll start to see a little bit of a different game to what we've seen before. Meters obviously give Solar some good harassing opportunities, so we'll see how much we can utilize with these as we do come through and clean a watchtower initially. Marines not going to be able to do much on the right side if they don't catch the meters, but the Marines come in from the left pretty quickly. Clem's already prepping with all of these missile turrets. It doesn't really seem as though we're going to have too much issue with the meters at first, but of course, meterless counts will continue to rise, and as meter counts continue to rise, they get interesting as well. Yo, Stompy J, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Got a sub, you're killing it with the content. Thank you so much. Glad you're enjoying. Thank you so much for hitting us with that Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, the upgrades continue. Mutas, Lings, Banes continuing around as well. On a couple of widow mines. We keep on building right now as we just have ourselves 2 upgrades coming in. Clem obviously will play a very slow going game here. That's kind of what this map is designed around as well. If you didn't want to play that kind of a game, nice widow mine catch, then he probably would have vetoed this map. But there's going to be one where both players get a lot of bases, and typically as a Terran, if you know you're not going to be able to push into your opponent easily, sometimes it's just okay to play straight for the later game, right? Sometimes it's just okay to kind of play in that kind of, manner. Like, yes, the Zerg does what they want, but if you just play into ultra late game, sometimes that can just be really good for you instead of just attacking into positions that are never going to work. Yo, Stompy J, thank you so much for going above and beyond with the 5 gifted subs. Going out to live, 1024, Rex Raptor, Versmur, Bonachia, and you want 1849Ka. Thank you so much for the generosity of the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words, the generous gifted subs, the Prime. Thank you. He's just going to open up these rocks on the bottom side. Just going to knock those down initially as Clem does continue to go across the other side of the map as well. Marine's going to stem up. A few of those creep teamers already beginning to drop down. Here comes the Lang Bang, going to turn around and make a play towards that Bioforce. Mutas are still heading down the bottom, going to go diving in towards this base. As our turret is there, first Muta already picked off. Marines are sitting out as well, so they're just going to be chilling. Marines continue to go after some more of those mutalists, so good damage being done. Banes will crash in for a few Marines as well. So a few Marines also getting picked off right now. I'm just going to keep going for this. Now, he is building again 2 more CCs, Ghost Academy. So like I say, he's building for that later game behind this. Like, that is absolutely part of his plan. There's no part of this where he's not going to end up playing late stages. And he knows that, like I said, I'm pretty sure he knows that on this map, it's going to be extremely tough to truly end a game before that point. And even if it starts going well, he's just probably still going to need the transition to close it out, right? So I'm very knowledgeable about, well, how the games typically play on these maps. No surprises on that, really, as the Thor gets evacuated from that little bit of a surround. So escapes from that for the moment. Ultra Cavern coming up. The extra Banes come through. We got Adrenal Glands coming into play as well. Obviously, if Solar can get up to Ultras, that will increase his army composition. I know a lot of us like to meme on them Ultras, but they can still be pretty good a lot of the time. Especially in the right scenario, they can be pretty good. And the Muta's going to get pushed away right away there. As you find a catch on this hatchery, obviously Clem's starting to split up a little bit. Saw with some good moments in that previous game where he started to split Solar up a bunch, and maybe has similar plans this time as we do fight in 2 different places. The Mutas from Solar kind of getting to the point where if they're not going to do much more, then maybe their time is already gone, which seems wild to say, because I feel like we've barely even seen these Mutas be have too big of a role, but I think that's kind of is just the case, in fact, as Bio continues through. That hatchery will be going down in a moment. So that gold base at least will not be allowed just yet. Clem going to get on top of and begin to stop that from being a factor. See, there's a couple of Widow Mines still setting up on the top side. And again, Ling Bane still coming through. +2 melee, Chitinous plating, and +3 Carapace coming up as well. As our Ling Bane gets a little bit more cleanup over on that side. He's come through for a couple of Widow Mines. Oh. Gonna turn back around and get this one as well. I was gonna say I was very close to grabbing that, just doesn't go back and gets it in the end, which is, like I say, a nice little added touch. Man, these Widow Mines, when they blow up on those mutas, obviously they only kill one, but the splash adds up as well, and it just takes the mutas out of the, out of a fighting kind of position for a few moments. Definitely feels like that hurts a little bit as that Bioforce comes through, sitting on the edge of this creep spread, looking to make some progress in. There's Baneling Force looking to try and overwhelm a little bit as well as it comes forward. Let me just go back over this right side, flying over the watchtower. Nidus on the way up as well as Solar looks for even more ways to just get aggressive at this stage of the game. Realizing that obviously if you can Nidus into the bases, shut down the production a bit, I mean, it could just force Clem back sometimes. On this map, it's pretty damn large. If Clem is playing out in the middle of the map and he has to go think back at home, defend his main base suddenly, well, that could be very difficult to do. So Solar going to try a little bit of everything to set himself up here. He's continuing around. The Bio is going to come stemming up this ramp. Into this base we go. The Queen's in some trouble. And this turret's still firing through. We've got ourselves a little bit more Ling Bane still coming out. Bio is firing up. Just going to be seeing our Creep Tumors still taking shots. +3 melee coming through. Again, when Clem pushes like this, though, I mean, Solar has money to spend, so as long as he can clean up good enough to kind of get a rebuild, then it should be fine. Obviously, the only issue is if you're rebuilding on your own side of the map, that could be a little bit tough as well. Because obviously, rebuilding on your own side, your units start kind of spawning everywhere. If the Terran is still on top of your bases, they can start to pick off units as they spawn, so that can get a little bit nasty. As these Queens are turning a slow corner. Wow, Clem's going to show mercy. Wow. He is going to show some mercy. Well, extra CC's coming up around the top side as Thors and everything continue through. Bahamut is still coming around for a couple seconds here. We've got ourselves up IO coming through as well. It's actually going to be Clem having to back it up quite a lot at the moment. We've seen a few more Banes blowing up. Just seeing our Ling Bane. +3 melee. I'm still getting settled here. I mean, this game is obviously going to drag on. Like I said, that's kind of what this map does. It drags on a little bit, right? And it's just the layout of the map. It naturally gives you a lot of the bases. It's large to go between the bases, or it's a long way between the bases. So it's going to take a while for these two to really figure it out between them. Who's going to kind of come out on top? Now, this is going to be Solar making a bid to maybe try and get rid of Clem's gold, but I wonder if he's used too many Banelings to actually finish up the gold. He has Lings there as well. SCV's repairing is going to be enough. That's a big deal. Anytime you save a planetary against an attack like that is generally a massive win for the Terran players, so Clem should be loving that trade. Absolutely loving that trade. That's really fantastic. As now he kicks off and picks off that base down there. It's one of those games where look at the resources lost. 12k difference in favor of Clem. So realistically right now, we're in a situation where... Yeah, we're in a situation where Clem just wants to keep Solar off of the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. As long as he stops those bases, he should just be pretty fine here. Realistically, he should be absolutely golden now. And as long as he keeps trading as he's been trading, even if he just trades equally from here on out, then he should find himself in a great spot should that go down. See those extra Banes morphing in, the Bioforce is still coming through, a couple of these creep tumors going to get chased back as well. And Bio continues to run about, and again, Ultras, Lings, and Banes still coming by. Starport, Thor, Ghost, Funkster Factory all coming through here. We have ourselves the Ling Ultra, or the Bane Ultra for numbers starting to rise. Carapace upgrade coming through as well. Clem gets rid of the bottom right base. I feel like Solar's starting to lose a little bit too much control. Obviously losing each and every one of these bases. Now he's got money to spend still, but he will not have as much income as he needs. Eventually he's going to run out if he, if it keeps going like this essentially. So I think that's the problem we're going to start getting to. Just see Bane Ultra still coming back around. We have ourselves the extra Marines, Medivacs, though, still sending a few more mutas coming in. Widow Mines are going to go after a few of those Zerglings. A couple more Banelings getting shot at as well. And for a few drones over here, this Widow Mine is going to be another complication for Solar. Resources lost, now a 15k difference, so it's continued to head in Clem's favor. Every time that resources lost difference heads in Clem's favor, it becomes more and more essential for Solar to mine at least one of the 12 and 6 o'clock bases. If not realistically, if they keep trading like this, perhaps even both. Like, that's just the sort of situation you start heading into now. As these Banes and Ultras might actually get a base over here. Clem will be denied a location. Kimura's going to go stimming away. He has got other units coming up, so unfortunately I think these Ultras are still going to have seen their final fight. Snipe, snipe, snipe. Oh my goodness! They get out of reach! Super Ultras. What champions? That doesn't happen every day of the week, that's for sure. That does not happen every day of the week. Muta's over here trying to hit the gold base again, but as you can see, that's obviously not going to be easily done. Clem's not going to let that go down without a fight, and it's going to make, again, just Solar spend every bit of his money. Solar has no minerals in the bank, guys, and obviously he's not been doing hot on the bases. We've seen Clem denying those bases repeatedly. So Solar has no minerals in the bank. Clem has 5,000. Solar has a bit of gas where Clem has not much gas, but it's a pretty minimal amount, and Clem's going to jump on this gold base. It's going to be one of Solar's main source of minerals at this point in time. So if you actually lose this gold, you might just not be able to rebuild through again and again any longer. Probably going to get to the bottom right. I mean, obviously losing drones as well. Those are minerals you'd have to spend to replace the drones, and obviously it's minerals you're now not mining because those drones are gone, so really one of the worst things that can happen to you right here is the Ling Bane gathers back up over on the sides, and it really does feel as though we're going to have ourselves a rough ending to this game for Solar, unless, I mean, he's got to find some real magic, I think, at this point to start turning this around, and it has to start being sooner rather than later, otherwise we are just in trouble. Otherwise we are just in trouble. And we see the Ling Bane still coming through, a couple of Infestors coming around. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a bit to convince me, I'm not going to lie, guys. I think Solar has too big of a task ahead of him, but maybe it's still possible, because obviously, I mean, in fairness, the actual army supplies are still fairly close, right? So, if Solar can just win one good fight, again, the issue is that his army's not really built to do that. When you look at Solar's army composition, it's 3 Infestors and then 21 Mutas. I mean, that alone should just tell you. The only spellcaster he has is 3 Infestors and 42 supply in Mutas. Like, that is not a fighting army. That's an overwhelming and maybe just, stalemating it out army, but I just don't know if he's got anything to actually truly fight with. Clem is splitting on 2 different angles, and again, Solar's army, because it's weak with the Mutas, is maybe not big enough to actually split in response to that, which is obviously a pretty big problem. If you see Solar trying to trade down here, that's a nice fungal growth, and a few Banelings will connect on Ghosts to capitalize from that. So that's actually going to be Solar getting a little bit of love at the end of this fight, making something happen for himself now. However, it is going to cost him still the gold base over on this side, so that gold will go down. Missile turrets are still working their way through those Mutalisks, and that is just going to be a little bit too much in the end. GG's. And Solar is going to get 3-0'd by Clem. Clem is just absolutely going to